How's it going, peeps? It's your boy Ozzy, and as well, I guess that's why you're here, because of the title. Most of you by now know the trade. If not, you've been living under a rock, because this literally broke my internet. I wanted to make a video about this last night, and as soon as the trade happened, I was about ready to start recording. My power went out, so I had nothing to record it. But Kyrie Irving has been traded to the Boston Celtics. It's Kyrie for Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder. The rookie Boston draft. I don't know his name. He's some foreign guy, but probably the most important thing that got traded, I guess yesterday, uh, is the Brooklyn Nets pick. It's projected to be about a top 5 pick. Good shot at being number 1, just because the Nets are so terrible. Which, of course, that pick was involved with a trade that involved Ray Allen, or not Ray Allen, yikes. Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry. Brooklyn pretty much traded all their picks to Boston, and Boston has yet to use really any of them for trade leverage until last night. I think personally, Boston gave up a little bit too much. I'm not going to argue that Kyrie is not better than Kyrie, or yikes. Kyrie is definitely better than Isaiah Thomas, okay? But they're not that far off scoring-wise. Actually, Isaiah Thomas scored more than Kyrie last year. Isaiah Thomas has proven to carry a team to the playoffs. They had a good system last year in Boston, but they played mostly through Isaiah Thomas. They had Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder for defense, Smart for defense. They had a good defense system, but their offense wasn't really clicking, which is why they set up the deal to get Gordon Hayward. And this has been kind of a slap to the face to Isaiah Thomas. They make him the face of the franchise. I guess he determined to play when his sister died by himself, and play literally 2 days after his sister died and dropped 50-some points in the playoffs. He lost tooth. He bled for this team, and he helped get Gordon Hayward to this team to make a run this year. And they're like, sorry, we love ya, but you're gone. And they trade him for Kyrie. But so anyway, trading that Isaiah Thomas to Kyrie, that's okay statistic wise. Then you add Jay Crowder. All right, so Cleveland's gonna get a little bit more. They got the. I'm not saying Jay Crowder's LeBron's level at all. Don't get me mixed up here. But if LeBron leaves, they do have a quality starting small forward, and then with the pick, a potential new face of the franchise. And all Boston got back in return was Kyrie Irving. I just think Boston is going to extremely rely on the young guys of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart this year. When I first seen this trade, my first reaction was, why did they trade Avery Bradley if they're going to trade Jay Crowder? At the time, the Avery Bradley deal made sense. They needed to clear up salary cap to get Gordon Hayward, and it flew. It made sense because it was really either between him, Avery Bradley, Marcus Smart, and Jay Crowder. And Jay Crowder and Avery Bradley ended up getting traded anyway, which is kind of, I was having this discussion with my brother, and he really didn't understand what I was trying to say. Around the draft time, the two hottest names, but this was before Kyrie's name even popped out anywhere, Jimmy Butler and Paul George were available via trade, and everyone thought Boston was the place that had the best opportunity. All they had to do was either trade up the Nets pick or their pick, and if they would have signed Gordon Hayward and got either, it'd probably be Jimmy Butler. I don't know how well Paul George would have fit there. But either way, that would have been a great improvement. Those teams would have been interesting. So their big three would have been Isaiah Thomas, Jimmy Butler, or Paul George, and then Gordon Hayward. That's a legit team. And then you kind of trade Isaiah to get Kyrie. So now you got Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, which is going to be a solid. They're going to be a contender for number 1 seed in the East. I don't know if they will win the number seed in the East, but they are still set up for the future after LeBron leaves. It's just a matter of Kyrie wants to stay there, because Isaiah didn't want to stay there. Isaiah just wanted the max contract. And I don't think Boston really felt he was worth a max contract. The way he was playing in Boston, I beg to differ. The only problem with Isaiah Thomas's game, he's got the heart of a champion, the heart of a warrior, the eye of the tiger, all that garbage. He's only 5'9" and he sucks on defense. So that's really his knock on his game, but that gives him fuel for offense. That's why he'll drop 30 points a game. So that's pretty much Boston's point of view. Cleveland is in win now mode. I think the Isaiah Thomas part going to Cleveland is for when LeBron decides to rest. As you know, the Cavs only won like 4 games when LeBron rested, or something like that. Or they might not have won any games this year when LeBron rested. But I think it was like when Kyrie's tenure was there in Cleveland that they were like 4-22 when LeBron rested. So I think they brought in Isaiah Thomas when LeBron decides to take those days off because he is old and a quote unquote cat. We're doing a little bit of censorship here. They'll rely heavily on Isaiah Thomas and probably a Kevin Love combo with the pick and roll. Speaking of Kevin Love, don't be surprised if his name comes up in several trade rumors. I bet he will probably be moved by the deadline if Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose, Jose Calderon, Jeff Green, all those guys don't want to re-sign because they know LeBron's probably about to bounce. They might just be in full rebuild mode. They could probably get another solid pick out of Kevin Love right now. Probably a couple good players. But his trade value is at his top that it's going to be right now. So that's something to think about. Don't be surprised if you hear your team's name mentioned in that. He's still a valuable piece. I don't know if he'll be able to lead your team anywhere, but somewhere like Philly, Detroit, that don't really have big power forwards. There's several other teams. Those are the 2 teams that popped in my head. That don't really have true power forwards. He could be very, very well used in those systems. So don't be mad if he does get traded to your team. Just look what his Minnesota numbers. They literally had nobody in Minnesota, and he was putting up monster numbers. So this is my LeBron twist in all of this. I really thought LeBron was out of Cleveland because they didn't make any moves. But now with this pick, if it's a number 1 pick, which is a high chance, if I say a top 3 pick, I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron stays in Cleveland for just at least 1 more year to see how this rookie, whoever they end up getting, plays out. But for that's just an assumption. It probably won't happen. He's probably still out of Cleveland. If I was LeBron, I'd be out of Cleveland in a heartbeat. Just because Cleveland is a crappy organization and they can't keep anybody. As for the rest of the NBA, how this affects the rest of the NBA, it really does not affect the rest of the NBA. Pretty much everything in the East is going to stay the same. You got 2 dominant teams in the East, in Boston and Cleveland. The only difference is probably that's going to affect the NBA next year is if LeBron leaves and Cleveland collapses, and then Boston would be the single team in the East. To be the dominant guy, to be the Cleveland of the East, I should say. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys on this trade. Go ahead and down below, go ahead and comment how you guys feel about the trade. If you feel if it was an even trade, uneven, if Boston won it, Cleveland won it. I personally think Cleveland won it. I bet they won't get beat so bad in the finals this year if they do get that far. If Boston doesn't overthrow them. Boston might have a little bit of chemistry issue to start the season off with Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, 2 new people. Usually when you involve too many new people to a team, it doesn't click right away. But they'll probably get it rolling towards the end of the season. So go ahead, if you're still watching, go ahead and leave a like on this video. Go ahead and subscribe right now. I mostly talk about basketball if you're new. Anything sports related, I will talk about this pretty big. And then before I leave real quick, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Let's say the first 50 people that follow me, I'll give you a follow back. Just what the heck. So go ahead. I really like Twitter. I like talking to people on there. So go ahead and follow me on there for more of a connection. I'm really liking the way my channel's going so far. So keep it real. Stay fresh. Stay out of whatever. Screw you. Not screw you. Screw it. I don't know. I'm not editing it out if you're still watching this. I don't know why you're still watching at this point. I'm just rambling on to make 10 minutes. Oh, peace out. Harley said bye.